I was a year old when I got separated from my mom. I always thought my grandparents were my real parents. They're the ones who raised me until I was 6. That's when I left Mexico and came to the US, when my life changed and my American dream began. My name is Claudia Alonso, and this is my story of how I got here. One thing I clearly remember about my time in Mexico was my grandpa taking me to school every morning on his bike because we didn't have a car. So every morning I would go to school, he would drop me off, and he would also pick me up on his bike. And one night I was sitting in my room playing with my Barbies, and my grandma came into the room and she told me that it was time for me to go and live with my mom. I remember I was so excited. I grabbed a bunch of trash bags and I packed all of my Barbies in one, all of my shoes, all of my clothes, and I lined them up against the wall so that I was ready when the time came. And that was the start of my journey. Before I knew it, I was standing in front of this river called Rio Grande. You don't know what the consequences are. I didn't understand. All I knew is that we had to keep an eye out for the green truck because that was the color of the immigration. I remember being on my uncle's shoulders as we were crossing, and I think the water for him was kind of up to his neck. The fear came from, what if I fall and drown? What if we get to the other side, but there's people waiting for us to take us back? After I crossed the river, on the other side was this woman also named Claudia, who is my biological mom. I remember she took me to this yellow trailer, which will be my new home. The trailer is small, it's yellow, a small tiny bathroom, no bedroom, a small kitchen, just parked in this piece of land. I remember I would tell her, like, hey, when is my mom coming? I would ask for her every day, like, I'm here, but when is she coming here? Like, when are we gonna see her again? But I also knew that she wasn't able to come. When I was 7 years old, I moved to what I now call home, which is Los Angeles. We flew to LA after being in the trailer for 1 year. We got on a plane. It was my first time on a plane, and I remember I got a window seat. As we got closer to LA, I could see all the lights. And I remember I told my mom, and I said, if I get lost, look how big this city is. How will I find you? Or how will you find me? I think she just laughed, didn't think too much of it. We got here on Thanksgiving Day. I had no idea what Thanksgiving was. I just thought they made this big party because we were coming. And so they had a lot of food. Everyone was dressed nicely. I liked the whole atmosphere and vibe of it. It was the first time it felt like home, but it wasn't the happily ever after just yet. We started the process when I was in middle school, like 6th grade. And I didn't finish the process until I was 22. I remember standing in front of the judge, fighting for my life and the opportunity to stay here. This was it. This was the moment that was going to determine the rest of my life, whether I stay or I leave. I could hear the judge and the attorney and the government attorney going back and forth, but I blanked out. I didn't know what they were saying, what it meant, anything. Case approved. And once the judge said those words, it was a feeling I'll never forget, and I just started crying like my life was ending. I was finally going to get my American dream. For a long time, I was so jealous of people that were born here because they would take it for granted. And there's people that want to come here and do the right thing, and you can't. I think if it wasn't for our journey, I wouldn't appreciate it. 2 years ago, I bought my very first home, and I hosted Thanksgiving for my entire family, including the ones who welcomed me in their home 29 years ago. Every sacrifice I had to make, every hardship, every moment where we felt beaten down, every tear or smile we shared, I wouldn't change a thing, because the person I am today, the family we are today, is because of how we got here.